Xbox has confirmed they're coming to more events this year. We all know since the pandemic, there's been a drastic reduce in the amount of events that pretty much everyone's went to. The pandemic made traveling very hard, and a lot of companies decided to just stay home, even with the few events that was open. Now, there wasn't a lot, and I remember there was a time where PlayStation even said they were going to do like a ridiculous amount of events that week, that year, but obviously the pandemic changed that. So today we're going to be talking about events, man. You know, Microsoft has confirmed they're going to be going to Gamescom and TGS, Tokyo Game Show, clearly in Tokyo. So, what does that mean? Well, clearly it means that they got stuff to show. Now, I don't know if it's going to be anything big, but they clearly do have some things they want to show in some way, shape, or form, in the forms of maybe DLC updates on live services they have, and maybe some Game Pass announcements. Now, the good thing about when it comes to stuff like Game Pass is you're able to consistently update the docket on what is being coming to Game Pass throughout the year. So when you go to these events, you're at least going to have announcements in forms of Game Pass. Maybe it won't be huge announcements, but you're going to have some form of announcements in that. Now let's break them down one by one because they are going to two. They're going to Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom. Now, Gamescom is pretty much like a PAX East, PAX West on steroids. It's huge. It's over there in Germany. There is a ridiculous amount of people that go to there, like 500,000. It dwarfs over E3. And I think one of the reasons that is venue. They have a lot more room over there. And E3 just recently, before it eventually closed its door, started letting the public in. Now, we all know that when it comes to appealing to a certain crowd, you have to appeal to the correct crowd. A lot of people over there and, across the sea when it comes to, Europe, they really like soccer. Well, they call it football, but we call it soccer. So having like a FIFA marketing rights would really benefit you in those regions because they're seeing your brand affiliated with something that they really get behind. Same thing with racing. They are a lot more in the racing field than you would say the states are. So Forza, probably something they're going to show around that area. I don't know if they would show that at Tokyo Game Show, but I would expect to see some form of Forza, maybe some more gameplay, showing some other types of content in forms of, what kind of cars is going to be there, maybe the thing that's on the cover. I don't know if that's announced, but that's stuff little light stuff that you could see at this event. Do I think they're going to show anything like huge? That's up in the air. I don't know if they have anything to show that, but the good thing about what Xbox has going for it is it's able to nurture these amount of studios that they have. They're working on AA, AAA games. So with these different form of games, because it could take longer to make AAA games, it won't take as long to make some AA games. So that's something they could show. When you have as many studios, especially if they're able to buy the Activision Blizzard King deal, you'll have a lot more to show throughout the year where, maybe just one event in June isn't good enough. They actually go to Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show. I think Paris has a show, and they actually have stuff to show there. There's a lot of games that Microsoft has that we haven't really seen a whole lot on, and there's a lot of stuff that they can bring to these events. Now, as far as Gamescom, I would expect some AA, maybe an indie game that they're announcing coming to their platform exclusively. I would expect some games coming to Game Pass, maybe some big ones over there. And I would probably expect some Starfield gameplay. I think that's safe to say we'll probably see some extra Starfield gameplay. That's if they do a direct, the developer direct thing, or they do any form of a video like they just recently did with June. That's up in the air if they do that. We don't know. But I'm very curious to see what happens in that matter. Now let's talk about Tokyo Game Show, because I think it's a little bit different with Tokyo Game Show. They're going to Germany because, it's a good way of being well recognized there. Xbox is a globally known brand, but it's not loved globally. So they have to do a lot better job at getting that recognition and getting that fan base everywhere. You know, besides America, United States doesn't really have a lock on any market. They have some fans there, but they don't have a lock on any market, especially Japan. And that's why I feel like they're taking Japan and the Tokyo Game Show very seriously. You know, I think that I saw someone say that, you know, the people who run Tokyo Game Show said this is the biggest year they've ever going to have. Now, maybe that's because the pandemic's coming back and people are getting really, you know, hyped for these events, or maybe they're generally just going to have the biggest Tokyo Game Show they've ever had. As far as Microsoft there, I don't really see them doing anything in terms of hardware because of what's going on. Maybe some kind of mobile thing with cloud, because I know a lot of gamers there, they play on their phones. They don't really play consoles too much. So they'll probably have a little bit of a structure in terms of cloud computing and cloud gaming. I think you'll see that there. But I think you might actually see an exclusive game for Xbox at the Tokyo Game Show. You know, we all know they're struggling in Tokyo. They're struggling in Japan in general. And I think that one of the only ways that you're going to be able to really captivate that audience is have stuff that's only on your platform, only that they play. You know, Japanese oriented games, go over there to the developers and publishers that make those type of games, make deals. It's been rumored for a while that they are making some JRPGs, and that would be interesting to see that on the platform, see how it goes. But I think that they're going to do something this year. You know, they've been doing pretty good in terms of announcing certain games coming to certain platforms and announcing games coming to Game Pass. I'm very interested to see why they didn't hold that Persona info to Tokyo Game Show. I don't know what day of the year it is, so maybe they're already going to be out, but I felt like those would have been a better thing to show in Tokyo. You know, well, whatever Tokyo Game Show is. I don't know if it's actually in Tokyo. Most likely it is, or if, you know, it's one of the surrounding cities in Japan. You know, one thing I just want to give props to in terms of events in general is Microsoft. I've always criticized how they never really tried to nurture their own audience. They always gave their biggest announcements to like the video game awards. They always tried to give their biggest announcements to other outlets that had a bigger imprint on the internet. But that doesn't seem the case anymore. You know, we saw Summer Game Fest. They didn't really have anything at that, but they had the majority of their stuff the next day at their show. And it does look like, because they wasn't really at the Video Game Awards last year, they are finally starting to do that. You know, even though you might have a smaller audience watch that, which, let's be real here, a lot of people are still going to watch it. Even though if you have a smaller audience, you're going to be able to get a lot more of the highlights. When people write about your stuff, they're going to write about your event as well. And I think that's important too, because when they write about the event, let's say someone came in there for Persona. Oh, where'd this get announced? Oh, the Xbox Games Showcase. Oh, what else was announced there? And before you know it, they're looking at the other stuff that's announced there. Games coming to Game Pass. You know, content for first party, second party, and third party. I know some people don't like when I say second party. I don't know what that's about. Second party is just pretty much games that is brought to the ecosystem, brought to the platform, that isn't owned by a Microsoft. It's a second party title, most likely timed exclusive. That's what that is. Relax. But anyway, what do you guys expect from Germany, the Gamescom, and what do you expect from Tokyo's Tokyo Game Show? Put in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear your guys' opinion. The fact that Microsoft is being more open to going to more of these events is very good in my books, because we need more of that, because they need to get more of an imprint around the world. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think. This is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.